Your friendly U.S. government is making their attempt to speed up the speed of the vaccinations. So to get you out your chair to the vaccine clinic, they spending taxpayer money on a star-studded event. Now that the world has spent a year living in trauma, they bring you an event with your favorite President Obama. Yes, Kamala will be there, and so will Biden, and you can be sure the last president ain't invited. They want to broadcast harmony, not capital violence, at the chance that you might look past their plan and spy them, at the chance that you might understand the plan that's behind them, and how they plan to tie your hands in a way you can't unbind them. And before I continue with explaining the conspiracy, let me remind you how you came to have democracy. Because of the circumstance, I say democracy in quotes, because the reality is that colonials came in boats. They claimed persecution in their homeland from rich folks, but when they arrived, they spread across the land and choked. All the culture was stripped out of the colony. They replaced it with a system that was based on slavery. And now we've lived through long enough to have this disease. Politicians can use their system to do as they please. They use the repercussions of a nation disease and to say that the problem is wild thoughts like these. But you and I both know in reality that racism can't be cured by vaccine. So the pandemic and the party are really a smokescreen, keeping us distracted while they polish the political machine. And the plan that they unrolling is yet to be seen. But from what we've seen, it's not looking good for people looking like me. The president is set for the American regime to take away rights within their boundaries, to take away your cultural artifacts and give you Twinkies. And if you don't eat enough, then they'll take away these. So you learn to sustain yourself off their meats and sweets. Meanwhile, in the world, you lose the skills to compete. You get an education that's incomplete for the purpose of getting you shot when you out in the street. Population control from our own rich folks, the same ones who claim persecution on boats, the same dictators now be telling us how they make common plans for everyday hope. And you should believe in the system for sure. They got you this far, why wouldn't they give you more? You got a refrigerator and a pair of Jordans, so why wouldn't you do whatever they ask for them? America is great, and they should be able to count on you to do whatever devilment they want you to do, because you're a patriot, true and through. And now there's a vaccine that allows you to prove. You might not trust them, but that doesn't matter. You got to vaccinate before it spreads faster. And they won't tell you how it's controlled by its masters or how Bill Gates knew to prepare for the disaster. You saw the videos on YouTube of the FEMA coffins. You didn't think they would actually use them. Now you're looking at the world confusing. Like how I'm supposed to make money and pay rent. Now you're supposed to be able to pay. It's clear and evident. You sitting watching TV relying on the government. So you check out their broadcast from the White House lot and learn of a location where you can go get the shot. You drag yourself down there because you don't want to be dead. But the effectiveness of what you're doing leaves you scratching your head. Short hair when you went to bed, now you wake up with dreads. I guess it could be worse, at least now you got street cred. But truly, that's what they want, a divided society. One world clandestine white, the other in the streets. One world is called right, the other's a bunch of creeps. So it really doesn't matter when they're killed by police. But when they is me, then there's a problem. Because I don't care your definition of the world revolving. I don't care to see it the way that you do. If you're a politician and expect me to minstrel. The games they play with citizens are mental. And the outcome for the earth results ain't gentle. All these problems coming to a head like a pimple, and when the bubble bursts, it leaves more craters than a dimple. But speaking of dimples, I have to look forward to Kamala Harris making her celebrity debut, and the first woman of color to hold the office. Why am I so feared with fear when I hear this topic? Let's say the plan for Biden is not to finish the presidency, and let's say they put this star-studded event on TV. Whether it's an attack or a super spreader route, they're making it really easy to take Biden out. Then, when Kamala is president, it's easy to hit and take away more culture with a black fist. They're going to lock blacks back into the tenements. And when they complain, they simply going to raise rents. And when you working that hard, the complaints will stop. And then they'll send in dragnets, swarm the streets with cops, catching all the brown ones that's out on the block, locking up anyone who didn't get their shot. Now, maybe, sure, I'm exaggerating, but not too much. The entire American system is built on trust. But the fact is, the trust is believing in us and our lack of ability to give change a thrust. So I implore you, watch the show and get your shot. Protect yourself with a mask from sniffles and snot. Do it to protect your loved ones and whatnot. But if you thought it was promoted for your health, it's not. I'm your old man Ross Solomon, MFA, otherwise known as Indegenius. Hit the link under this video and let me know personally what you think. And if you like what I'm doing, send me a patch for the coat.